Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Rush Roundtable. This week, episode 75 of the Roundtable and episode 89 of the wildly successful comedy podcast Something for Nothing, co-hosted by me and my friend Steve, we'll be doing countdowns of our favorite top 10 Rush songs. So, let's get ready to rumble!
Hello, Rush fans and listeners of the Something for Nothing, a Rush Fancast podcast. This is a special crossover edition of Rush Roundtable where we are going to be going through our personal favorite top 10s with our pals Gerry and Steve from the Rush Fancast. Gerry, wave.
That was my wave.
He held his pen up.
My pen wave.
Oh.
So because we're going to be going through our personal favorite songs here, we're going to omit talking about songs we're hooked on / deep tracks that we want to give a shout out to, which we usually do on roundtables. We're just going to omit that. How this is going to work is we are going to go around the roundtable twice. The first time through, we're all going to read our number 10 through our number 2 of our top 10 lists. And then we're going to go through it a second time where we are going to read off up to 10 honorable mentions. We are going to attempt to guess each other's number 1, and then we're going to read off our number 1. So again, just going to go around the round table twice. And without further ado, we are going to turn it over to Ryder to read through his number 10 through his number 2.
All right, so kicking off the whole video at number 10 from Permanent Waves, Natural Science. Come to really appreciate the song recently. Learned through this whole song on bass. It's super, super fun to play. Awesome changes. Number 9 is Middletown Dreams from Power Windows. It's always been my favorite from the album. There's just something about it. Such a cool vibe. I love the synth arpeggios and the second chorus, ? Great song. Number 8 is After Image from Grace Under Pressure. Super powerful song, super awesome lyrics. No bass on the song, which is, a lot of people think it's interesting that I like it because there's no like traditional bass on it, but I think it's just such a great song altogether. Number 7, 2112, the whole thing through and through. But if I were to pick a favorite part, it would probably be Overture. The song lyrically, musically incredible, but I just think Overture is my favorite part of it. Just such a great section of the song. Number 6 from Signals, Losing It, with Ben Mink on violin. Just the violin solo in that song is incredible. It's super challenging to play. As Rush said themselves, you can hear it on R40. We're probably going to mess it up, but here it is. The song's in 11/8, so it's a very fun challenge to play, and just the synchronization between all the members of the band is just awesome. Number 5 from Moving Pictures, Vital Signs. Very interesting pick. I showed this list to my dad and he was just a little confused by that one at number 5. But that song is just super awesome. Love the keyboards, love the bass, obviously, and just how the song progresses. I feel like it's really cool. It stays really, really mellow, then it just bursts out of nowhere at the end. I think that's really cool. Number 4 from Signals, Subdivisions. You can't really say much about Subdivisions that hasn't already been said. Awesome lyrics that almost every Rush fan can identify to. Great opener to Signals. Amazing drumming on Neil's part. That's one of my favorites from him. Number 3 from Snakes and Arrows, Armor and Sword. This song has... I know it's a bit controversial amongst Rush fans, but I know people like Ryan have had a bit of a turnaround with him getting it on Stick It Out. I think that's a song that people got to double check over. It is, personally, I think it's one of Rush's best, and it's unfortunate that so many people have skipped it. And then number 2, YYZ. That song, for me, was always like the epitome of like, if I want to be a good bass player, I got to learn how to play YYZ. If I want to be a good drummer, I got to learn YYZ. And just that song, if you listen to that song and you don't say like, wow, these 3 guys are pretty okay, I think that's a little bit of a sin. You got to give them justice when it comes to YYZ. So that is my number 10 through my number 2.
Awesome. awesome list, Rye Guy. So we're going to turn it over to Rye Guy, myself, and I'm going to read through my 10 through number 2. So number 10 for me is Double Agent from Counterparts, a song that can only be described as a bit demented. I originally hated the spoken word, but I really kind of came around on the spoken word, and I absolutely loved this tune. I think it's fantastic. My number 9 is Armor and Sword. So as Ryder mentioned, on our Stick It Out series, that was one of the songs I was assigned, and I had never really truly listened to it enough to really give an opinion on it. And of course, I've listened to it so much, and I'm always hooked on it. And this is incredible song from Snakes and Arrows. And I would agree, Ryder, one of their best. I really think it's one of their best. My number 8 is Lock and Key from Hold Your Fire. I really think the opening synth parts, as well as Getty speaking, I don't want to face the killer instinct, face it in you or me, is just incredible. I think that really sets the tone for the whole song. Getty plays the 5-string bass on this, which is super cool. The part where Getty sings "No reward for resistance, no assistance, no applause," especially his face in the music video, super badass. He totally kills that music video with the acting as well. And a great 80s guitar solo in Lock and Key as well. Very underrated. Number 7 is Between the Wheels from Grace Under Pressure. Very recognizable opening keyboards, another fantastic Alex 80s guitar solo. You're going to hear me say that a lot throughout this list. But, it's it is a rather deep cut that I think really stands up to some of the other songs on that album that are popular, such as Distant Early Warning, Red Sector A. Number 6 is The Weapon from, oops, didn't mean to do
there
that.
he goes.
What I meant to do was
show a weapon.
Is put on my 3D glasses for this one. So because if you don't put your 3D glasses on, you'll only be seeing this thing in 1/2 D. The Weapon from Signals. It starts off with a paraphrased quote from FDR's inaugural address, which I think is awesome. The lyrics in the song are dark but relatable, and I think the main thing in this song that really sticks out to me is the guitar solo. Again, awesome 80s guitar solo, but super haunting. I've always used that word for this solo. It's very haunting, but it really fits this song perfectly. I don't know if there's any other Rush song that the solo fits as well as it does in this. I just think it's just perfect. Number 5 is Marathon from Power Windows. Of course, I gotta have some Power Windows in my list, right? When Getty sings "In the Long Run," I just love it. Gives me chills every time. Another great 80s solo from Alex. Like I said, you're gonna hear me say that a lot, but this song was in between Free Will and Subdivisions on the Time Machine tour, and I always thought that by them doing that, it made this song feel super important. In doing that, it really, I guess raised it on my list of favorites too. So number 4 is Chemistry from Signals, hence the Signal shirt. The opening synths into the guitar solo, this song is just killer. Alex and Getty and Neil all kill this song. I think it's a song that's about their chemistry as a band and how well they've kind of, progressed their career up to this point. But they're fresh off Moving Pictures with Signals, and they absolutely kill it with this album. This song is no exception, but it is an underrated gem in my opinion. Absolutely love it. Number 3 is again from Power Windows, Emotion Detector. I definitely like the synth era, so if you guys haven't caught on yet, I really do like the synth era of Rush, and quite frankly, the underrated gems of the synth era, this being another one. Guitar work, fantastic. What can you say? It's a motion detector. It was never played live, and it was a real shame. I wish it was. But all right, let's get to my number 2. This is Grand Designs, Power Windows. I mean, seeing this song 3 times live on the Clockwork Angels tour, I was able to see that tour 3 times, and I was excited for this song every single time it came on. A great 80s guitar solo. Again, I can't help but continue to say that, but I definitely sing the lyrics to the very end of the song in the car, the oh. I think we can all sing that pretty easily. But yeah, that's my number 10 through my number 2. So I'll turn it over to Stephanie.
All right. So for my number 10, I actually have Anagram. That song has been a favorite since I heard it for years. It was one that I knew would be a weird one to put on the list, but it just keeps ending up there. Every time I would take it out, it ended up back. And it's just fun. I love that song because it's fun. I love the images, the wordplay. It's just such a cool song. There's nothing I know like it. Number 9, I have Test for Echo. That one's always going to be on there for me for the like 90s grunge sound, but Rush style. I love the thundering drums on that entire album, but especially that song. It's just one of those that has such a great energy to it. Number 8, I have Prime Mover. That is going to probably always be on my list, despite some of these changing, for the chorus and the lyrics in the chorus especially, and just the message of the song overall. It is just, I don't know, for me, that's my personal favorite off Hold Your Fire. Number 7 is Cinderella Man for that groovy bass, as we discussed in a prior song discussion, and the, I guess you could call it a solo or kind of breakdown at the towards the end of the song. Number 6, I have Double Agent. If anybody's seen Stick It Out, you know, that one was not what I would have ever expected to have on my list, but it grew on me enough to end up in my top 10. So that one's just mainly the imagery of that song and just the mood it creates is brilliant. Rush is so good at doing that. And that song is a great example. Number 5 is La Via Strangiato. That had to be on my list. I'm surprised it isn't on other people's list so far. Hopefully that won't be the case. But it's just a perfect example of Rush telling a story through just the music. You could see it even if you didn't know what it's about. You could figure it out. And I especially love the like big band drum pattern that Neil uses during the monster parts, and just how he switches kind of flawlessly between these different styles within that song. It's just beautiful. Number 4, along those lines, is Xanadu, because, I mean, do I have to explain that one? The percussion in the beginning, the kind of soundscape they create is just never going to get old. It will always be on my list. For number 3, I have Carnies from Clockwork Angels, because of primarily the intro guitar and just the atmosphere that one creates also. It's just, that has energy like no other song. It's totally different from a lot of the catalog and fits with the theme, but also the lyrics on their own. It's just such an incredible song. And number 2, I have Cygnus X1 Book 2 Hemispheres. That one, it's always been the story that has stuck with me, the idea of balance, and that message was something I guess I always needed in my life. So I always came back to that song, and just the way they tell the story, I could always picture it in both parts, but this especially, I could always picture the story in my head as they were telling it. It's just another excellent example of Rush storytelling, whether it's about real people in some of the later songs or real lives, or it's, you know, kind of a fantastical version. It's just wonderful. And it's my number 2. So
Awesome.
Pass it to Jim.
Yeah, thanks. That's an awesome list. I really like your list.
Thank you.
Carney's
Yeah.
at number 3 is interesting too. That's
Oh,
way up there
great.
for.
That's a great one.
That's
That's a good tune. It's
I
just
absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
It is.
It's so funky. It's so different. It's so, I don't know. It's a favorite for me. But what do you
yeah.
have, Jim?
All right, so I'm kicking off with number 10 with Prime Mover. I don't think I could really add to much more of what Stephanie said about it, so I'll leave it at that. Again, fantastic song. It's actually my favorite song on that album. So that's that. Number 9, I got to go back and give Caress Steel some love because it needs some love. Lakeside Park. My favorite song off of that album. Just such a great, rhythmically, it's great. Neil has a really cool drum intro, really good busy part that really fits really well, and it kind of makes you think about summertime as well. Number 8, I'm going to help to round out the Hemispheres album by adding Circumstances. Just a really cool, fun, rockin', punchy tune that just gets right to the point, and it's just always a blast to listen to. Number 7, Grand Designs. It kind of blew my mind a bit when they played that on the Clockwork Angels tour, because that's the first time I heard it live since the Power Windows show. So I was really super happy. I've always loved that song. The hits at the end are like my favorite part of that. I just really like it. Number 6, Driven. My favorite song off of Test for Echo. Really intricate with the drum part and the guitar and the bass. The lyrics are interesting, and it's just great. And it's really, really great to try to learn and figure out, all right, what's he playing here, So I finally was able to figure that out after a few listens. Number 5, The Analog Kid. Has always been a favorite of mine. And it's another one that somehow makes me think of summer. I guess the boy lying back with his baseball cap covering up his eyes. Just that imagery that Neil creates with the lyrics are just amazing. And it's probably one of my favorite Alex solos. And I really didn't appreciate his solo to the fullest extent until I saw the DVD of Clockwork Angels and could actually, when they're focusing on him, actually see him playing it. And I was just blown away. Sticking to the same album, number 4, Digital Man. I think that was my first favorite song off of Signals, which it kind of rotated a bit with that and Analog Kid. But kicks off with drums again. What song? Any song that kicks off with drums is going to be a cool song, right? So that one kicks off with drums again, and that has always been a favorite of mine. I love the jazzy part that Neil does in there as well. Number 3, The Camera Eye. The imagery that's created on the lyrics and the camera eye are just amazing. And I didn't go to Manhattan until probably a few years ago for the first time in my life. So I was probably 50 when I went there. And when I was younger, listening to this, those lyrics always kind of brought me to Manhattan, even though I had never been there. That was the imagery that it created. And I think the music is great. The most exciting part is when they transition from that first half into the second half, where you kind of think it's over and no, it's not. Neil does a quick fill and they bring it back in, changes up the parts a little bit. So it's really exciting. Number 2, Entre Nous. What can you say? Just a great song. It's a great, what Neil paints with his lyrics, I think are really interesting. And it's one of the more straightforward songs on Permanent Waves, but it has just been a standout for me. It kind of moves me.
Like the Analog Kid.
Like the Analog Kid.
It moves you, it moves you.
It moves me. Yeah. All right, so
Now,
that's my 10 through 2.
Now, Gerry,
Yeah.
We need better explanations than just, oh, I like it. It's good. All right.
Oh, I don't have any.
All right. Well, then.
That's my only. Haven't you ever listened to the
That's
podcast?
it.
That's my only explanation.
That's your
for
only
the
one.
song.
That's right there.
Why it's so short. You know,
But
the
you
funny
can
thing-
never go wrong with that explanation.
No. You know, the
Yeah,
funny thing
because
about
you don't have the words to
I don't
really express it.
have,
I
ain't
certainly don't have the vocabulary.
I ain't got the
It's hard
vocabulary.
sometimes.
Jim, the funny thing about the camera eye is that Neil was able to experience a different kind of Manhattan, I think, than most people in the 70s, because Manhattan in the 70s was a hellhole. It was
Yeah.
a terrible, terrible,
Really?
terrible place to even be near. Nobody went into. I didn't go into the city for any reason whatsoever when I was a kid,
Wow.
because it was murder. Murder.
Yeah, they've changed it.
So I'll start with my number
Right.
10, right? My number 10 is The Anarchist. A great late stage Rush song that brings in a lot of themes from some of their earlier songs, but from a different direction. The next is YYZ, because it's YYZ. Next is Xanadu.
Wait. Please explain. But that's supposed to come from Jim, right? Who's the teacher? You're supposed to say, please explain.
Can you expand on the lyrics in that song real quick?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I can. I'll do it right now. Xanadu is for the same reason I think Stephanie, you said, it's just a beautiful cinematic
gonna-
song.
Cheat off of me?
Yep.
That's
So I
not
got
fair.
so I got through school. Cheating up
All
the
right,
smart ones.
all right, Jim. You gotta step in now.
Yeah, detention for both of them.
Number 7 is Distant Early Warning, because it's a catchy tune, and it's about a worldwide global net of interballistic missile detection. Typical catchy tune that you hear. Number 6 is The Spirit of Radio. I don't think I need to explain that, do I? Jim, do I need to explain that?
No, you're good.
Natural Science is a great Rush experiment, because it's the craziest thing that anybody could shake together in one bottle and come out with something amazing. Limelight, because I think it's probably one of Neil's first really personal songs, personal lyrics about what it's like to be him. And of course, Alex's solo. Tom Sawyer it's just always been one of my favorite ones. It just explodes as soon as you hear it and just carries you through the rest of the song. And I can never tire of hearing Tom Sawyer, despite what other people might say.
Is it Tom Sawyer or Tom Sawyer?
It's Huckleberry Finn, stupid.
And number 2 is Subdivisions. And I've always loved Subdivisions just because growing up in the suburbs, as most people who love Subdivisions say, it really captures what it's like to grow up in the suburbs. But as an adult living in the suburbs with my kids, the final stanza of the song, comes back full circle. And as you grow up, you kind of miss the things that you remember as a child, and you probably remember more fondly things, the better things, than you do the bad things. And for some reason, you want your children to experience those things, and you just kind of go back to where you're from. So, and that wasn't brought up until after we did the episode on Subdivisions, right? Steve, somebody wrote in and explained that verse to us, and I had never thought about it before. So that didn't bump it up to number 2, but it certainly made me appreciate the song more.
Helped solidify it at number 2.
Yeah, there you go. I guess I'm passing the baton to you, Steve.
All right. My number 10 is Manhattan Project. And the reason I picked Manhattan Project is because Ryan told me I had to put a Power Windows song in my top 10. So I did. And it's
I told Stephanie the same thing and she didn't, I don't think, right?
No, it's a great song. It would have been in my top 10 anyway. And most of the songs on my list seem to have that cinematic quality that Rush was so fabulous at. And Manhattan Project is certainly one of those. Number 9 is Red Sector A. Same sort of song. It brings you to that time, and it was so meaningful to Geddy and Alex, and Neil's lyrics are so brilliant. Has to be in my top 10. Number 8 is The Garden. Perfect song to wrap up not only one of Rush's greatest albums, Clockwork Angels, but also wrap up Rush's career. And after Neil passed, it just had greater meaning for me. And it's my number 8. Number 7 is 2112, one of the first songs that I listened to as a kid when I became a Rush fan. And I was just blown away by a full side of just an amazing song. Tour de Force by Alex. Neil's lyrics are incredible. My favorite section is Discovery. Just beautiful. Number 6, La Villa Strangiato. Stephanie did a great job explaining that. I don't need to explain further. Just an amazing story told in an instrumental song, as Stephanie mentioned. And it's Rush's greatest instrumental, in my opinion. Number 5 is Tom Sawyer. Like Gerry said, even though it's Rush's most popular song, it's still a fabulous song and deserves to be in my top 10 and really anybody's. Number 4 is The Analog Kid. Jim did a great job explaining that. Geddy's bass work on this song is fabulous. And as a kid, it just brings me back to my childhood because I felt like I was the Analog Kid. Checking out that girl with the fawn-eyed.
Yes, Steve.
Sun-browned legs.
The sun-browned legs. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I was trying to be nice. Number 3 is Natural Science. Just an incredible song. Seeing that performed live on the Test for Echo tour was one of the greatest concert experiences of my life. And that's why it's my number 3. And number 2 is Xanadu. They recorded in one take. Drop the mic. Number 2. That's my list.
Drop the mic. I like it. All right. Well, the moment that everyone has most certainly been waiting for, I think, maybe, our number ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the roundtable again, but first we're going to each, Ryder's going to go first, going to read a few of his honorable mentions. We allowed up to 10 honorable mentions. And then before you read your number 1, we're all going to attempt to guess what your number 1 is. So go ahead with your honorable mentions.
All right, so this was very hard. When you told me to get an extra 10 in, I didn't know if you made it way easier or like way, way harder. But, all right, so just a couple that I have down. Prime Mover, Between Sun and Moon, Limbo, Presto, Time Stands Still, Secret Touch, Limelight, Bravado, Witch Hunt, and then a special shout out to A Passage to Bangkok, the first Rush song that I really ever had as my favorite and then I really ever listened to. And then in addition to that, the whole rest of the Rush discography. One stands above the rest, and I want to see what you guys think it is. I know I have a pretty interesting Rush palette, as anyone who has watched my episodes with when I'm on the roundtables would know. So I wonder what you guys think.
No clue.
All right, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Driven.
Yeah,
right.
Driven was going to be my guess too, but it's got to be Xanadu.
Are you guys going with Xanadu?
Oh.
Cygnus X1, Book 1.
All right, why
Prize
don't you tell
goes
us?
to Steve. It is Cygnus
Wow.
X1,
Yes.
Book 1, The Voyage. That song is
Wow.
just, oh my God. That song.
That's the craziest number 1 pick I've ever heard in my
Exactly.
life.
I didn't
awesome.
think it was
It's
either.
an awesome pick, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that, but yeah.
No.
It's so crazy. That song just out of nowhere. That just became just my favorite. Every single time, I'm thinking about a Rush song. When I think about a Rush song that I never skip, it's always Cygnus X1.
Huh.
So and then just the instrumentation that song is incredible. All the insane changes that it goes through. I love the lyrics, just painting the dude flying around in space on his ship named after a horse from some book I read in Spanish class. Then he gets yanked into a black hole, and just the way that they build that up, it really feels like you're sinking down, especially in the last part. And just Getty screams at the end. That is just, oh my, like that song is just so epic. And then not even going into book 2, Hemispheres, just the way that song built that character and left it so open-ended. Like, what just happened? Like, what did I just listen to? That song is just Cygnus X1, book 1, The Voyage, I think takes the cake as my favorite Rush song. I know most people probably expect me to come in here and be like, oh, dog years, virtuality. But no.
Something from Test for Echo.
Something from Test for Echo. But
Yeah.
like, that's it. That song is, I think that one's just my absolute S tier number 1 pick.
So
No more Power Windows. You're not allowed to say any more Power Windows songs. No more.
I was gonna say the rest
There's
of the
two.
album.
Territories was on the
There's
list
two.
3 times.
Two.
There's 2 Power Windows. So it starts with Hemispheres from Hemispheres. Natural Science from Permanent Waves. Digital Man from Signals. After Image from Grace Under Pressure. Territories and Mystic Rhythms from Power Windows. Available Light from Presto. Face Up from Roll the Bones. And then How It Is and Freeze from Vapor Trails.
Freeze is so sweet.
Face Up.
Yeah,
Face Up.
I'm with you, Jerry. Face Up is a little out there.
Why don't you go ahead and try to guess my number 1?
So I was going to go with Territories. I don't know. I was going to go with Territories, but now that it's on the honorable mentions, that's messing me up. I don't know.
The Analog Kid? Trying to remember what you said on your...
I will give
list.
you the album. It is from Signals. It is not the Analog Kid.
Oh, I know what it is. I already
Yeah.
knew what it was.
You remembered.
I just remembered, yeah.
Oh, geez.
He
Okay.
just remembered. All right, my number 1.
I'm going to go, just real quick, I'm going to go New World Man.
Wrong. It is Subdivisions. My all-time favorite Rush song is Subdivisions. I just love it. I mean, what can you say? It's the most relatable Rush song to us as Rush fans, as uncool, cast out people in high school and as full-grown adults. No, I mean, it was relatable to me, not because I was cast out of any particular group, but I never fit into one particular group. So growing up, that's just how it always related to me. I think it's up there in, one of the best Rush songs ever. It really defines the whole synth era, which to me, the synth era is Signals through Hold Your Fire, really. I mean, I guess you could include Moving Pictures, but my favorite all-time Rush song. Speaks to me on so many levels. I love the instrumentation. I love the lyrics. Stephanie, go ahead.
All right. So first, for my honorable mentions, I did do 10. So I'll read them quickly. I have Cygnus X1, Book 1, for all the right reasons Ryder said before. 2112, Digital Man, Faithless, A Farewell to Kings, YYZ, Cut to the Chase, Lakeside Park, Territories, and Headlong Flight.
Now we're supposed to guess.
Okay,
I was
so-
going to guess 2112 for you, but
So the number 1. Oh, let's see. Hold on.
I'm going to go a little more classic and say Free Will.
I'm going to guess High Water.
Oh, Steve does not watch Stick It Out, obviously.
oh wait, how about
Gave
Totem?
yourself away.
How about Totem? I know you love Totem.
Should have been an honorable mention.
What album is it on?
Totem?
No, I know what album Totem. What album is your number 1 on?
It's on Signals.
Losing
Yeah.
it.
I'm still guessing color right.
Is it also Subdivisions?
Yeah, I'm going to say Subdivisions.
Nope.
I said losing it.
All wrong.
No, no,
Is it-
I've
I'll
already
go-
said it once tonight.
Is it
God.
Digital Man?
The best solo of all time.
Losing it.
The Analog Kid.
You got it, Ryan.
Ah,
Analog Kid.
Wow.
Easily. I could have switched my number 1 and 2. I was playing with it, but that song is just, it's been mentioned so many times for a reason on everybody's list. And that solo, I mean, so many of these songs can kind of change your mood and, you know, have energy to them, but that's the one that it doesn't matter what mood I'm in when I listen to it. That song puts me in a good one coming out. And it's just, like Jim said, it's the place it puts you. It's such a good feeling song. The skill required for that song is insane. And again, watching Alex do that solo is insane. The bass work on it too. It's just, I think it'll always be my favorite. I absolutely love that song.
that's awesome.
But
Cool.
Test for Echo could have been. Totem should have been an honorable mention, but unfortunately
Yeah.
we were only given 10 measly spots, so we got to work with what we
I
got.
mean, you
Yeah,
know,
it's hard. It's
we
hard.
do have a time limit here that we have to hit. So just
All
kidding.
right.
Go
Do
ahead.
a 3-hour podcast where we'll go through the rest.
Well, all right. So for my honorable mentions in no particular order, The Spirit of Radio, The Anarchist, Distant Early Warning, Vital Signs, La Via Strangiato, Cinderella Man, Alien Shore, Ghost of a Chance, and Everyday Glory.
Wow.
Solid
Alien
list.
Shore.
Yeah, really. That's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That
It could have made mine too, honestly, but I just,
No.
At high water?
Steve's gonna, yes, it's gonna be high water for everybody.
yeah.
Is that your number
Eventually
one?
someone-
Steve?
No.
let's hear it.
Ryan, you want to say it?
Sure, I'll say it. His favorite song is High Water. His favorite song is Xanadu. Tell us why
Xanadu.
you like it.
I thought that was on your list.
Same here.
That's why I didn't say it.
No.
Oh, darn it. I was my
Come
first
on.
guess.
It is,
Darn
to
it.
me, Xanadu has everything. It has everything that Rush is. It's sort of like the, you know, it's like the Rush song to me, you know, with the acoustic guitars and fantastic playing, great arrangements, great parts by everybody. The integration of the mini Moog synthesizer and Neil's percussion. And Neil actually changes his drum fills. He changes drum fills from the studio recording to the Exit Stage Left version. And the Exit Stage Left version was the one I heard first. So I was really excited, you know, by all of that, you know, all of the energy that they had there. And it's just, I mean, how can you not like an 11-minute epic written about a poem? I mean, it's just, it's amazing. And the last great reason to like Xanadu, double necks.
Double necks.
Double necks on double necks.
Yes. Yeah, it is Xanadu, my absolute favorite Rush song.
Good choice.
Thank you.
All right.
Gerry?
20 through 11. I have Anthem, Manhattan Project, Losing It, Beneath, Between, and Behind, 2112, Red Barchetta, New World Man, The Trees, La Villa Strangiato, and Hemispheres. I guess book 2. I just call it Hemispheres because we're on that first name basis. Hemispheres.
Same.
So,
All right.
you
So
go.
Jerry's number one.
So my number one.
Steve, you want to say your guess for Jerry's number one?
Yeah,
I know
is it
you-
high water,
High
Jerry?
water. That's right.
High
Yeah.
water.
High water.
Like I would say like Limelight or Xanadu, because when we were on the solos discussion together, you painted like a really cool picture when you saw Limelight live the one time. But you already said that. So
Yeah, there you go.
It's the camera
There's
eye.
a Tom Sawyer.
It is. That's the right era though. If you-
Right era. God.
Mm.
Jacob's Ladder.
Hmm. Interesting. That's number 21.
Seems wrong.
Wait,
That does
God.
mean wrong. Interesting.
That's
They're all
number 21.
God.
Any guess, Stephanie?
You already said.
Can we choose not to decide?
Ken.
Yeah. Really.
Free Will. It's Free Will.
Oh.
Is it Free Will?
It is Free Will.
It is Free
Yay,
Will.
I got it. First try.
First try. You're going to add the rest of it up. It is Free Will. Free Will, not only the subject matter, again, an unusual subject matter for a rock song, but the solo part at the end has all three guys soloing.
It's the song you scream out in the car.
Right.
Yeah, every time it's on.
Right.
Yep.
I will choose Free Will. So yeah, it's just such an incredible rockin' song. It is a great driving song. So windows rolled down, annoying the neighbors.
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
That's awesome.
For sure. All right, Steve, we'll let you read your honorable mentions. 10 of them, please, not 60 as we figured you might do.
So I've got a bunch that people have already mentioned: Subdivisions, YYZ, Free Will, The Spirit of Radio, Cinderella Man, and I also have some that people haven't mentioned, which I'm surprised that no one's mentioned The Trees yet, right?
I
Trees
did.
is in my honorable mentions. Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thanks for
By Tor and the Snow Dog, nobody had. Turn the Page, which I love. The
Love.
Wreckers, and Hand Over Fist.
Yay!
Happy
Yay!
that
Something
made it
from
in there.
Hand over
Presto.
fist, baby.
You know, no one's mentioned Headlong Flight. And
Hey, I had it on my
Stephanie
list.
did.
Yeah,
did you?
Stephanie
Yeah.
did. Stephanie
Okay.
did, yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's
It was
So
so.
that's
It's
great.
so hard.
Yeah. All right. So Steve, I met you about like an hour and a half ago, and I think I know you pretty well by this point. And I know you're probably as dedicated of a test for Echo Defender as I am. So I'm gonna have to say Limbo.
Please.
I'm gonna have to say Limbo.
No,
It's not Limbo,
Dear.
although I do like the
Um,
Limbo.
Limbo.
I like two Limbo.
I'm going with high.
Conservative talk show hosts.
I'm going to go with High Water.
High
That
water.
is incorrect.
Jeez.
That's a shame.
You know, just for the record, I really like High Water.
Oh, so do I. I like
Yeah.
Hot Water too, but it's not in my top 20.
Okay, that's okay.
I like the drums in it.
Yeah, it's great.
I
Geez.
want to. Was Xanadu on your list?
It was.
Yes.
Number
My
2.
way?
So I know it, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to tell you, think of the themes that he mentioned. Why are these songs on his top 10? Because they bring him imagery in his head, and he likes the imagery that it paints. So
Oh, I think I remember.
The camera?
I'll give you a hint, Stephanie. It's a song about a car.
Oh. Oh,
That's
well,
the hint.
there you go.
Water.
Yeah.
High water, yeah.
High
Water is
water.
about getting trapped in your car during a flood.
Red Barchetta is the greatest
Yeah.
Rush song in my opinion. If I had to pick one song to play for someone who's not a Rush fan, that's the song I would pick. It's just brilliantly written. Neil is so succinct with the lyrics, and they're amazing. And there's so many just cool moments in that song. And another driving song, you said, what did you say was a driving song, Jeff? Free Will?
Yeah.
This
Driven.
song is the ultimate driving song and
Driven.
just Rush's greatest song, bar none, for me.
Awesome.
That's an idea for another show. What is the greatest Rush song? Anyways, cool. That was a lot of fun. Those watching, feel free to, take on the tall task of putting together a top 10 list of Rush songs. It is tough. See if you can do it. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you have any interest in coming on a roundtable, feel free to direct message us at Rush Fans on Instagram or send us an email. We're rushfansinstagram@gmail.com. And Subdivisions is the best Rush song ever. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.